Allegiance and a moment of silence for our men and women in harm's way.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic. Nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. For the record, we were talking about raising pigs, that fermenting thing you heard in the middle there. Prior to this evening's meeting, we had an executive session to discuss the selection of the town prosecutor. There were no votes taken on that item. We'll be discussing that again under new business number 2. And we also had a update on the transition of cases from our previous solicitor to our current solicitor team. And no votes were taken on that one as well. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mr. Gleason,
Here.
Ms. Blank,
Here.
Ms. McDowell,
Here.
Ms. Patton,
Here.
Mr. Reese. Oh,
Here.
Mr. Piero,
I know I'm here. Don't forget about it.
Mr. Hamilton.
He's sitting closest to you as well. I am here. In the event of any emergency, there are 3 exits in the building. One that you came through, one behind you to your left, and one behind Mr. Reese. If there is a need to evacuate, please do so in an orderly manner. And meet us all over at the school department building while we wait for further instructions from our first responders. We have our consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve as presented?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Next up, we'll be sitting as the Board of License Commissioners. We have a peddler's license for a mobile food establishment for Kayla Rosenberg, doing business as Brie and Honey at 180 Cottontail Drive in Portsmouth.
Motion to approve. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Then we have 3 annual peddler's license. We have the Rolling Reader LLC, doing business as Flatbed Fiction, 17 South Drive, Middletown. Seconic River Company Limited, doing business as Artisanal Wine Trays at 30 Cutler Street in Warren. And Kurt Williams, DBA M1C2 Woodworking at 1240 West Main Road in Middletown.
Motion to approve. Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Motion to adjourn as the Board of License Commissioners. Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Next, we have minutes from our exec and meeting of 5/12/2025.
And the exec.
And the
Motion to
exec.
approve.
Yep.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Mr. Brainer, our town administrator's report.
Thank you, Mr. President, Town Council, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, I had the honor of attending the Memorial Day ceremony held at the Portsmouth VFW Post in Common Fence Point. The event was organized in partnership with American Legion Post 18 and served as a meaningful tribute to those who gave their lives in service to our nation. On behalf of the town of Portsmouth, I extend my deepest thanks to the members of both organizations for their dedication in ensuring that the sacrifices of our fallen heroes are never forgotten. On Friday, I will attend a recognition ceremony for this year's spring graduates of the Rhode Island League of Cities and Towns Municipal Leadership Academy. The program is designed to build skills and leadership competencies for employees committed to growing in their public service careers. Of note, this class included Wendy Balk, our Recreation Director, so congratulations to Wendy, well done. I will attend the Housing Network of Rhode Island's annual meeting next Monday. This meeting will include an award ceremony celebrating individual and organizational contributions that elevate public awareness of housing needs and affordability in Rhode Island. One of this year's awardees will include former counselor and now State Senator Linda Ujifuza. As a reminder, you are all invited to a ribbon cutting ceremony for the Portsmouth Middle School Egg Innovation Pollinator Garden. This event will be held this coming Thursday at 3 p.m. at the Egg Innovation Farm on Jebson Lane. On Friday, May 16th, about a week and a half ago, the police department celebrated National Pizza Party Day by serving approximately 400 slices of pizza to the students at Portsmouth High School. During the school's lunch period, police officers handed out slices of pizza, creating a fun and informal setting to connect with students and strengthen community relationships. The The event was sponsored in part by the Portsmouth Police Union with contributions from West Main Pizza and the North End Pizzeria. This marks the third consecutive year the police department has hosted this event at the high school. And lastly, regarding the SSS fields or 3S field, town staff continue to explore feasible options for the phased development of sports fields within the constraints of the existing conservation easement held by the Aquidneck Land Trust. To date, we have assessed more suitable locations on the parcel for athletic field installation. We've engaged Public Works in the development of a phased construction plan to spread potential costs across multiple fiscal years. We've received concurrence from the Aquidneck Land Trust to relocate the proposed field area to a section of the property with improved soil conditions and drainage characteristics. And we've initiated discussions with the local nonprofit organization that has expressed interest in the project pending development of a more detailed plan. Next steps include approaching local stakeholders to explore cost mitigation strategies such as shared use or alternative parking arrangements, which can support a timelier and more cost-effective path towards completion. I'll continue to provide updates as planning progresses. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Any questions for Mr. Rayner? Mr. Gleason?
Just a comment. Thank you very much for going forward with the expectations of getting the 3S properties done. It sounds like positive news. Is the land trust letter something you could share with council?
Absolutely. I'll send that out to her.
Thank you very much.
And I don't want to put him on the spot, but I'm going to, our new DPW director, Paul, we had a sinkhole over in Sea Meadow. Can you give us an update on it? If it's a major issue or relatively easy fix, I hope?
No major issue. We had a sinkhole. Gravel underneath the sinkhole was washed out.
Okay.
We couldn't find out where it went. It wasn't in any of the basins. The piping was good. The basins were good. We excavated this morning on the side of the basin. Seems like they buried a bunch of stuff when they rebuilt that basin a while ago. All the block and everything was underneath the road. So we excavated all that out, compacted all new gravel in, and A1 was in the area up the street paving. They brought down some hot patch. It's all set.
Great. Thank you very much for the update. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Can I also ask, is there an assistant DPW director now? I thought I saw a different face driving a red truck today.
Yes, Gavin Lobes is our new deputy director.
Okay, great.
I think you could say, welcome Gavin Lopes. He's online if you'd like.
Welcome, Gavin Lopes.
All right, we have resignations and appointment. We have a resignation from the Parks and Rec Committee from Miss Cynthia Burke.
Motion to receive with regrets.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. And we have appointments for a reappointment for Mr. Edward Lopes to the Planning Board.
Motion to reappoint Mr. Lopes.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Old business, Ms. Marsden, our finance report for the month of March, April. Where are we? April.
Good evening, Mr. President and Honorable Council. As of the end of April, the town was 10 months or 83.3% through the fiscal year. Year-to-date general fund revenues were at 82%. Primary sources there were state aid, interest income, and tax receipts. General fund expenditures were at 81.5% of the total budget. Drivers there were the bond payments and civic support payments. For reference, revenues and expenditures are comparable to those of the same period in the last 2 fiscal years. Fourth quarter tax payments are due June 1st, so we do anticipate tax revenue influx for the month of May. Performance continues to trend positively, and there is weekly implementation of the monitoring of both revenues and expenditures. And that is all.
Thank you, Ms. Marsden. Any questions on the report? Ms. McGowan?
Now, just one question. We had talked about a possible surplus last month. Are we still running, as you noted, Mr. Rayner, in a 6-figure position? Or maybe closer to 7-figure position?
Right now, it's tracking pretty high, 6 figures.
Okay.
We're still encouraging departments to go ahead and encumber the funds that were budgeted for this year, so we don't try to do catch up in the next fiscal year.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Have a motion to receive and place on file?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Unfortunately, new business one will not be heard this evening. Miss Donovan Boyle had a family emergency and she won't be able to make it tonight, so we will effort to reschedule that at her earliest convenience. New business number 2 is a selection of a town prosecutor that we had discussions on. We held interviews last Wednesday of 5 candidates. We narrowed it down to 3, got the best and last final offers. And we had a further discussion tonight with those offers in executive session. And
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we hire Frank Holbrook as the new town prosecutor.
Second.
any discussion? Mr. Gleason?
Thank you, Mr. President. I would just like to say that we did have 3 good candidates. I think all 3 could have served the town very well. And whoever we end up with will do so, I'm sure. I will be supporting another candidate, so I won't be voting for Mr. Holbrook, but should he take the vote here, I would fully support him. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any other comments or questions? All those in favor? Oh, sorry.
I I think we also had 3 very good, well, we had several good candidates and we were lucky to have that. And we narrowed it down to the 3. And as Mr. Gleason stated, and I agree, we would do well with all of them, with any one of them. I will be supporting a candidate other than Mr. Holbrook, only because I believe that even though Mr. Holbrook could do a great job, I just really feel that he's just too connected. He's got a lot going on. He's a municipal court judge on the island, a justice of the peace, a bail commissioner, a municipal judge, and I think it's just too much. And I think Portsmouth at this particular point should go and look off the island for a candidate in this field. So I will be supporting another candidate.
Any questions? Mr. Payero?
I feel now I have to come to the defense of Mr. Holbrook as we're going into this thing. Mr. Holbrook, for all the same reasons that Councilwoman McDowell has stated, comes with a wealth of experience and knowledge on this town and knows the intricacies of our department, have worked with our detectives before, and understands the district court here on the island. And I think that that is something that is completely, that is the institutional knowledge that we need right now to transition from a prosecutor that we've had in our town for the last 15 years. And having those established relationships on the island can only serve this town well. So that's why I feel that Mr. Holbrook can and will serve this town right. And I will, if I could, triple my own motion.
Well, you can.
I know, that's why I said if I could.
Any other comments, questions? Ms. White?
My support for Mr. Holbrook is due to his knowledge base, his extensive history and experience, and also being fiscally responsible is what we've been elected to do. And he was the best option, I feel, for the town and would properly represent us.
Mr. Gleason?
I just want to clarify one thing, Juan Carlos stated, and I may be incorrect, but I believe that Mr. Holbrook, who is would be a fine lawyer, prosecutor for the town, knows many of the Portsmouth police officers, but I don't believe he actually worked with them to date. You know what I'm
Well-
saying? So he is familiar with what happens in Portsmouth, but has not worked for the town of Portsmouth.
Not had worked for the town of
That's
Portsmouth.
all I just want to.
No, but to clarify what I said, he
Sure.
has worked with them in his other capacities on the island,
Correct,
not directly as a prosecutor.
correct. Yeah.
So I'll clarify as
Yep.
well. Thank you.
Any other questions? No? Okay. All those in favor of appointing Mr. Holbrook as the town prosecutor? Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Motion fails 3-4. Or 4-3, whichever way you want to look at it. Is there any other nominations?
I would make a motion to approve the firm of McCormick and Bell.
Second.
Discussion. I won't support McCormick and Bell only because during the interview process, I did not find them to be prepared for the interview and didn't feel like they understood the position as well as the other two candidates.
Mr.
Mr.
President,
Mayor.
I may as well. I have to back you up on that, and I too found them wholly unprepared. Additionally, to kind of alluding to some points that were made by Councilwoman Blank, to be financially prudent and something that some of my fellow council members espouse in a lot of the statements that they make, they also came in as some of the most expensive attorneys that we did review. So I would not only challenge why it is that we're going with the most expensive option, but then also figure out where we're paying for that.
Ms. McDowell?
Yeah, I don't feel that I can support Mr. McCormick and Mr. Bell because of two reasons, which I spoke about earlier. And one is I was disappointed that I felt that they were not properly prepared for our interview. And secondly, their price range was beyond what I feel the town should be paying.
Any other comments? Ms. Beck?
Yeah, so I will be supporting McCormick and Bell. Although I understand their pricing is a little, it's like $7,000 difference. They did come down from their original to like $40,000 they brought their fee down to. We're getting 3 individuals on the firm versus one person that, you know, I do have an issue with, a local. And as Mary McDowell has mentioned, as far as, you know, Holbrook is very involved and very busy. Although he does have a lot of experience, I do have an issue with the local thing.
Ms. Blank?
I felt that McCormick and Bell were the least prepared, grossly expensive, and I recognize that the police department will most be interacting with this person, and don't feel that this is the right candidate for our town.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor of appointing the firm of Bell Fontaine and McCormick?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
That one fails 4-3. So we're down to the final candidate. Or we can have further discussions. You're right, we might be here till 10 o'clock.
Wait a minute, who thinks it's tonight?
I brought one, but didn't turn the lights on.
Ms. McDowell?
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Mr. Zangari as the Portsmouth Town Prosecutor.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Ms. McDowell?
I just feel that Mr. Zangari would serve us well. And I think the price range is in there, and he is someone who is off the island, and he has received some great support from people in Narragansett. And so I'd like to proceed with that.
Okay. Ms. Blank?
There's a way to ensure that he comes to the island and doesn't increase burden to our police department.
I believe he stated he would. He said he would come on, pick up the materials on, I think he specifically said Sunday, but I'm sure that's something. they
Is
can
there
work
a
out.
way to hold him accountable? A lot of people have said things.
Yes. Yeah. He serves at the pleasure of the council, so if he doesn't live up to his billing, we can go out again.
Mr. President, we can certainly make a note to put that in the contract when it's drafted.
Thank you.
Any further comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Motion passes 4-3. So we have our new prosecutor, Mr. Zangari. I know our Lisa is on. So if Lisa, you can reach out to him in the morning and work on a contract with our solicitor, please.
Mr. President, I'd like to I'll put in a form of a motion if you feel it's necessary, but not having the original package from our purchasing department. I think we should have an out clause for the town and an out clause for the prosecutor as well, rather than a defined timeframe. Any thoughts on whether we have that in there
I mean, like
already?
a 30-day, you can be removed at any time, or they
I
have
think
to
we
give
have
us
it in
30 days.
Vio's contract. We have an escape for either
Yep.
party.
Yep.
And I think we should have the same rather than limiting the contract to our term of a year and a half. So would you like that in the form of a motion?
I don't think you necessarily need a motion for that. I
Okay,
think
that's
that it's sort of implied in the town's ability to hire and fire their solicitor, that the fire is part of that.
Yep.
And so I think it does help to have it in the contract for clarification, and so we
Sure.
can certainly add that in, but I don't think you need to separately authorize that.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. Next up, we have a request to advertise for a public hearing for a sound variance to allow live music at Common Fence Point Improvement Association Block Party at 933 Anthony Road on July 12th, 2025 from 6 to 12 p.m.
So moved.
Mr. President, I'm just going to
that's fine.
abstain on this, on the
Yes.
side of,
So I was taking your lead and I was like.
I was waiting.
only because I'm a trustee.
I know you weren't going to say second.
not
I was
gonna
waiting to
make
see who was going
anybody
to jump in. So, all right. All those in favor?
Aye.
One is-
Date. You need 3 weeks, so you want to do it? June 9th is quick enough? You can get done by then? Fantastic. All
One.
right, so it'll be June 9th. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0 with one abstention.
Thank you.
New business number 4. We have a request to authorize to spend up to $70,000 public safety capital plan money to purchase a 2024 Ford Interceptor. Chief Ford, good evening.
Good evening, Council President, members of the council. I'm here tonight to receive your approval to make this purchase of a new Ford Explorer. When I first came here, one of the problems with, we'll say, operations that certainly the town administrator hit me with right away. We
We
used
used
to
to say it was a problem. We said it was
a concern.
Concern.
A
is a better
concern
phrase,
on
I
his
think, yes.
part.
Yes.
We used to send the engine company out often, regularly with the EMS. Since then, we've changed our method of operation. We also have a couple of additional firefighters working each shift from when I became the chief. We now send an Explorer when the call necessitates a third person and even sometimes a fourth. We send them in a Ford Explorer. It's a 2017, it was a hand-me-down from the fire marshal. Beginning this July, we are changing our licensing. We are going up from ALS at the cardiac level to ALS at the paramedic level. Now, we don't have a complete contingency of paramedics. All of my members are at the cardiac level at least, but we have about 10 paramedics, and working through the state and our medical director. Those members, by being licensed at the paramedic level, those members will be able to utilize some advanced equipment and a different assortment of medications that would be prudent in particular situations. In purchasing a new ancillary vehicle Explorer, it would be an EMS 1 would probably be its designation, and that would be the typical chase car when a paramedic call comes in. That will also be licensed to the paramedic level, so it will have the necessary equipment and medications on board. So even if our rescues were out and we had a paramedic, they could take that vehicle and stop paramedic level care while waiting incoming ambulance and medical rescue from a surrounding community. We were also going to have our administrative captain beginning July 1 is a paramedic, and he's going to be in charge of EMS. So while he's working, he could in turn take that car and respond with the medical rescues or an out-of-town rescue and provide paramedic level care. When looking to purchase a vehicle, we're fortunate enough to find that one of the typical vendors that we would go to, they had a leftover. And we received a $5,500 credit on our quote for that leftover, being a 2024, and it's red, which will be fine with driving along with the ambulance. The cost of that vehicle, the quote from them with all the lighting package, came to just over $48,000. We have to get it leaded and graphics put on it. I estimated based on past vehicles about $2,000 and additional radios for that vehicle. So that total comes in the 64 range. I'm seeking permission to spend up to 70. That's what I budgeted for in the capital and the public safety capital improvement plan. While it's, as you know, I call it a living document, and like any CIP, I've had to go up. This was originally, when we picked it for this year, we were looking to spend about 62,000, but prices have gone up. But I'm sure we can get it for under 70 either way. And they have it in stock, very unusual, ready to go. And that's what I'm asking you to approve.
Are you looking to purchase this before July 1st? So it would be in this year's budget, or capital plan?
It's in the capital plan, so the funds are there.
Yeah,
It's a revolving fund, but Okay.
this is, you'll find this in your special funds, so it's not part of the general
Yep.
fund, so it doesn't matter what fiscal year it's.
Yeah. Any questions? Ms. Blank?
A few questions. 2 questions. The lettering of $2,000 seems high. I've had quite a few vehicles with lettering put on. Have you looked at other businesses, or do you have an agreement with a certain company?
We do with different vendors, but I can tell you right now that we received a new engine 1, so our older engines are being reletted 2 and 3, and it's $2,500 each one.
Right, but that's
So-
for the fire truck, not,
Yeah, but it doesn't have, we're not changing that much. But we search out, go to a Tiverton sign shop sometimes. But we have 3 or 4 different places that we'll go to and get prices.
and then it seems like you have a catch-all about in 3 different locations with radios. Where there was a budget for radios and then an auxiliary line for radios, and then now we have a 12,000 for radios here. Can you help me better understand that
Sure.
breakout? It feels like that's already been covered.
Well, we like to have radios, at least a spare on hand, because they can take so long to get in. If we have one break, we can sometimes be looking at a year. Even now, when we order this truck, I can't order radios for it yet because I won't get them. I can order them, but they won't be in time. We need to have radios to put in it. So we try to budget them in our regular budget. So I have, we'll say, a consistent stock when necessary. When it comes to the capital improvement plan, if I don't need to buy anything, all those funds stay in the plan. So it's not like you're budgeting on a normal annual budget where if I asked you for 70,000 and I only spent 60 and then 10 goes back. If I don't spend the whole 70, it just means the plan has that much more funds left in it when I'm done. So I like to create, I want to make sure I have enough flexibility so I can purchase what I need. I won't be purchasing things I don't need. If that makes sense, and I hope helps answer your question.
Help me understand what the incentive is on your side to not purchase extra material.
Because I have a
The
fiduciary
technology.
responsibility to the citizens of Portsmouth to spend my money wisely, their money wisely, and I take that seriously. So I spend what I need.
Excuse me. Do you have a planned usage for the existing vehicle?
It hasn't been narrowed down exactly yet because we have an additional staff person now that I mentioned the paramedic. So we don't have it set in stone what we're going to do. But if when times come that we don't need it, the tax assessor's office has our last Ford Explorer.
Is it something Prudence could use?
We've given vehicles to Prudence, a pickup truck since I've been here. We sold them a medical rescue at a discount. Whenever I have something like that and we're gonna
They
get
get
rid of
first
it,
chop
I
it?
talk to them, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.
We gave them a pump that we had bought for back of a pickup truck a couple of years ago because we upgraded to a better one. Chief Lapierre thought he could put it to good use out there. We shipped it over to the island.
Any further questions for the chief? We have a motion to approve.
Mr.
the-
President, I'd like to make a motion to approve up to $70,000 from the Public Safety Capital Improvement Plan to purchase the 2024 Ford Interceptor.
Second.
Right out of.
You choose, Madam.
Don't
Clerk.
argue.
Any further questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Go get it, chief.
Thank you, Chief. Next up, we have correspondence. We have 2 items for correspondence tonight. A motion to receive and place on file.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Next up, we have our future meetings. We have our standard regular council meeting on June 9th. We have our budget hearing, which will be Wednesday, June 11th. Then we'll have the regularly scheduled town council meeting, which will be the final budget adoption on June 23rd. We will be taking July 14th off as a summer break, and we'll return on July 28th. And unless there's no other needs for meetings, that's our future schedule. Any questions or comments? Or a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.